Mike, Jorge, I'll come to you. Why are you a supporter of Donald Trump? Why do you like Donald Trump so much?
2015, 16, I started seeing him do his thing, and he said one thing right in the beginning that caught my eye, and that was, he said nobody was in his pockets. He said he was in all these politicians' pockets. He got him to do whatever he wanted to do, and nobody was ever in his pocket. He paid everybody off, so he was coming into the game with his own ideas, his own thoughts, and nobody could buy him. When I heard that, I was like, this is a man that if he says what he's going to do, it's going to be the best thing for us. There's no secret corporations behind him. There's no foreign governments backing him up. This is one person with his own thoughts, and he loves America, you know. So that's just how long I've been rocking with Trump, man. I love this guy.
And by the way, you know, can you imagine if somebody trying to tell Jorge, don't vote for Trump? I wonder, like Jorge's going to say. Did you guys see that one clip when Tyson's like, what are you going to do about it? Rob, do you have that one clip where the guy is like, listen, Mike, I mean, I'm not going to do nothing about it. I just don't know if I, support your decision to want to vote for Trump. Rob, if you got the clip, pull that up. Meanwhile, we have... Is this it? Go ahead, watch this, folks. Here's another one of those BMFs in the world. Go ahead, Rob.
I'm voting for Trump. So what somebody's going to do about it? I don't think anybody... I mean, I'm going to disagree with you. So what? What are you going to do?
What are you going to do about it? By the way, if you actually think about it, Jorge, Mike, if you think about it, who do you think has a bigger base of fighters who can actually do jiu-jitsu, MMA, mixed martial arts, fighting, Kamala Harris or Donald Trump? Who do you think's got a bigger camp of fighters?
Trump.
Mike.
Yes.
Before we even talk politics, I got a selfish question for you. What happened with your fight with Conor McGregor? Everybody wants to know. I've had a lot of different answers. What happened there?
Yeah, I think Conor's voting for Kamala. If he was going to vote for Kamala. No, he broke his pinky toe. So, yeah, he broke his pinky toe. We built it up for like a year and a half. It was a while. Made a lot of sense to wait. We did The Ultimate Fighter. And then it became very clear. I was like, I got to move on. And now I'm fighting Charles Oliveira in 11 days at Madison Square Garden.
Let's go.
So...
That's a big fight. That's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, he's Dana's called it a #1 contender fight. So Charles is the highest ranked guy who is not currently fighting for the title. So I beat Charles Oliveira. I become the #3 ranked guy, fight Islam Makhachev, who I think is going to beat Arman Tsarukyan in January. And I'm the champion 2025. That's the plan.
So I got a question for you and Jorge. And Brian, you can chime in on this one because I think you're going to have some thoughts on this one. By the way, folks, if I can ask you guys a favor, if you're here, do me a favor, don't speak up because I can actually hear it. And if you're on the side, please don't do that. If you want to talk to each other, just go in the VIP room or go out there and talk to each other. If you want to do that, you're here to network. There's many reasons to be here. But if you're in this room, just please keep it down. Can we all commit to that? Yes? Thank you for that. So this is a very important question I'm going to ask you guys, both of you. Remember how I said one of the most important events on what happened that, tipped the entire thing and all this other stuff? I think one of the things that happened is when Zuckerberg came out and he said he made a mistake giving the $400 million to Democrats. And then came out and said that the Biden-Harris administration kept telling him what not to post and what to post, okay? So we've all seen the highlights of Zuck fighting the kicks, and he looks like he's practicing. He doesn't look like he's winging it. He looks like he's doing what he's doing. What happens if somebody on the left who's not a fighter, who's never done this, at 32 years old, he's like, I want to learn how to do jiu-jitsu. I want to learn how to grapple. I want to learn how to fight. What kind of an influence do you guys, professional fighters who get paid millions on top of millions of dollars to do this, what kind of influence do you guys have on a Zuckerberg when you're around them? Is there shit talking? Are you talking to him? What does it look like? And what influence do you think UFC had on Mark Zuckerberg?
I honestly, I got to meet Zuck at one of the fights. And obviously, yes, I think he and I we're on different ends of the political spectrum, believe a lot of different things. But I do believe that you can catch a lot more bees with honey than you can vinegar. And I did see that post. I think it was Vivek Ramaswamy talking about it, and everybody's like, yeah, throw him in jail and do this and do that. And I'm like, yes, there should be a little bit of accountability, right? But also, a guy like Zuck has a very, very heavy hand. A guy like Zuck has a lot of influence. So I just think Zuck started training. That testosterone started going through the roof. He realized what being
By the way, this is a very important point, just so you guys know. Go ahead.
He realized what being a sovereign individual means. You don't know how not sovereign you are until you stand in front of a man and he beats the crap out of you, and then you pick yourself back up and you do it again. Or you get choked out and then you got to get up and do it again. And I think that's why, you know, I'm sure Jorge gets it. Everybody's like, oh, you're under Dana's thumb, and Dana's telling you to vote for Trump, and Dana's telling you to be a Republican. It's like, no, we just know what it feels like to be locked in a cage, and nobody can help us. Nobody can save us. So it's just, I think it's a different mentality, and I think Zuck has started to realize that, and now he's starting to lean over a little bit.
And to piggyback on that, they've actually done experiments where when they raise your testosterone, as a man, you tend to vote or at least lean more conservative. That's an actual study.
Why do you think that is, though? Why do you think that is?
I think it's probably because it just makes you feel, first of all, if you look at how conservatives talk, it is about self-reliance. It's about doing it for yourself, not relying on some big brother or some giant equalizer in the sky, man, because that's not how life works. And every time you feel good about yourself, it's because you came up against objective reality. For a while there, you were in a boat in the middle of the ocean. The storm was raging. You didn't have a paddle, but you found your way to shore somehow. That's when you learn who you really are. And I think it's impossible not to align yourself with somebody who speaks that language when they're up on a podium. Not somebody who's out there going, we need help, we're all victims, and we've got to equalize the playing field, but I'm the one who can do it, me and my philosopher kings, because we had the education and we know what's best for you. That's really how Hillary Clinton.
So let me ask you this. That's a very good point, but let me ask you this. How many guys here do some kind of fighting, kickboxing, MMA? Who here actually goes and trains on a weekly basis? Okay. Who here can proudly say their testosterone level is above 400? Make some noise. All right, we're going to test everybody outside. There's going to be a way to test you to see who's full of shit. Who's above 800? Who's above 800? Raise your hand if you're sponsored by TRT. Today's podcast is going back to Masvidal. What would you say? I mean, if let's just say my son, who's over here, my son is 12 years old. Where did Tico go? Did he just move? He went to the restroom. He's 12 years old. Mike, you introduced me to Sean Soriano. And Sean brings DeMarcus. Tico, Patrick's been with Sean and DeMarcus for the last, babe, how long has he been with, how long has Tico been with Sean? 2 months? When did I ask you, Mike? Was it about a couple months ago?
Yeah, probably 2 months ago.
You have to see what's happened to this kid. The level of intensity, him training every day for an hour, hour and a half with these guys, kicking, boxing. What impact do you think your community fighters can have on a guy like Zuckerberg?
Well, I haven't got a chance to meet him yet, but if I meet him, the first thing I'm going to tell him is get me off the gulag. Since 2020, they got me shadow banned heavy, man. Unmonetized, they don't let me make no money. So first thing I got to tell Zuck is hook me up, brother, and then train with him, man. Maybe I show him some things, you hook it up. But I think definitely anybody that ever trains, you get this self-confident, you know, whether you win or lose, you kind of like walk into a room and you don't feel you have an ego as much, you know, and I think that definitely helps. And like Mike was saying, once you get your butt kicked a couple times, you know, it really makes you humble and it makes you see life a different way. All that money that you have really doesn't mean nothing in the bank when someone's on top of your face punching your teeth in, you know. So I think him training has just brought that side of him, you know. And also I think how rapidly the country was deteriorating was probably the biggest thing. You know, he saw what he did with the Democrats, gave him all that money. They censored speech, censored him on Facebook, censored the whole Corona thing, censored the laptop from hell. I mean, it was fucking nuts, bro.
So would you say, Brian, a guy like you, that the strategy to flip male voters is to make them softer, lower their testosterone, make them pansies, and then they're going to be voting the other way? Is that kind of what you're
That's
saying?
That's what they're doing with football now, you see, right? And basketball, these guys are painting their nails. They're doing all types of things that men have never done on like TV or even behind closed doors that I know of, you know. And it's crazy, and they're getting all this advertisement money, and they're just little by little trying to take the man away. First of all, they call men like us toxic. I don't know why, you know, because I don't paint my nails, I don't have earrings. It doesn't make sense, you know. But
This is, by the way, this is such an important thing we're talking about. This is such an important thing. How many guys have sons here? Raise your hand if you have sons. What are you doing to toughen up your sons at a young age? What are you doing to toughen up your sons at a young age? Sports, fighting, self-defense, anything. So important. Matt, be ready. I'm going to pull you up here in a minute to come up if you can be ready. Rob, if you can pull up this clip. Who loves RFK's Make America Healthy Again campaign? One of the best decisions I ever made in my life was joining the U.S. Army. When I served the 101st Airborne Division Air Assault, the level of pride of America being the greatest country in the world went to the roof. If you are a veteran, or if you support veterans, you have family members, Veterans Day, we have brand spanking new gear for you to choose from. A whole plethora of options of what to choose from, with shirts that say we support armed veterans, I am an armed veteran, dog tags, shirts, hats, all of the different gears that we have. And for the first 250 people that place an order, you have the option of 12 to 15 brand spanking new mugs that we have. One says Angry Patriot, another one says BizDoc, another one has got the US flag, another one has PBD Podcast or Valuetainment or A Future Looks Bright. Go to vtmerch.com, place your order for Veterans Day. These things are going to go very quickly, and you'll get a custom mug that'll be sent your way.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.